Hi, my name is Emily Lacey, and I was in charge of production for our team.
And I'm Tara Freeman, and I was in charge of planning and procurement.
I'm Will Thompson, and I was in charge of our team's finances.
I'm Andrew Scolette, and I was in charge of fulfillment.
We were Team Q, and this is our business strategy analysis. Our business strategy was to be a cost leader in our industry, offering a niche convenience product. Our strategy involved throughout the practice rounds as we discovered which products were and were not selling based on market share and what costs had the most effect on our net income and gross margins. I will now hand the floor over to Tara Freeman to speak about procurement and planning.
So after going through all the practice rounds and just learning from our experiences, we kind of wanted to figure out a way to differentiate ourselves from our other competitors. So during the practice rounds, we kind of figured out that having large and small boxes together really didn't work for us. And so what we did going into the actual rounds was we figured out a strategy that we just wanted to use small boxes. And so as you can see from this table, you can see all of our products that we used, and then you can also see how much ingredients went into each of those products. Using all small products kind of proved to be a good strategy for us due to the fact that nobody else started out that way in our industry, so we kind of got a head start compared to other people. And so now we can talk about forecasting. And so after data analysis, we kind of figured out what forecast we wanted to use. So our main focus was to have a minimal forecast coupled with smaller, more frequent purchases to minimize warehousing and purchasing costs. And so we found out that our three most popular products that we had were blueberries, strawberries, and original. And so since they had such a higher turnover rate, we kind of forecasted them a little higher than the other ones at 150,000. And then our other three products, which were mixed fruit, raisin, and nut, we forecasted at 75,000, just to kind of, just for our purchasing, yeah. And so now we're going to talk about purchasing, and if you want to go to the next slide. So we purchased pretty much on days 5, 15, and 25 of each quarter, and just approximately just as we needed to. And so what we did was we kind of knew that lead time was about 4 to 5 days, and so we, especially on day 25, we wanted to make those orders then in order to have those materials for the next round available. You can also see our total raw material costs in this table here, and so what it has is each of these are broken down, and it shows you how much we spent and when we spent it. And so you can see that we spent about $3.8 million over the total 7 rounds. And so we try to keep our costs as low as possible. And so now we're going to talk about production, and Emily's going to tell you that.
Our production strategy was to decrease costs as much as possible per unit. To that end, we began by investing heavily in both capacity and setup time, so that by the third round, our capacity was 26,000 and our setup time was 4.78 hours. This allowed us to use a just-in-time production model, wherein we viewed our inventory reports and our product schedules and scheduling in real time, so that we could see what our real product levels were, so that we would know not only how much product we had, but how much product we would be getting in the future, so that we knew when we actually needed to use the planned conversion of planned orders to create more of our product based on our sales and inventory levels. We also analyzed our production based on item and time. So we actually use this to look at how much of each product we were producing in a round and when it was being produced, so that we could smooth our production over the course of the rounds. Because as you can see in the fourth quarter, we had a production dip because of low demand, so we were able to actually be more agile to respond to that, as opposed to just producing as much as we could at all times, so that we would have overwhelming inventory and excessive warehousing costs. We will now move on to fulfillment, and we will be speaking with Andrew.
So within fulfillment, I did pricing, and our overall strategy was penetration pricing. And so within channel 12, them being more price sensitive than 14, we would look at the industry average in the Z market, and we would set our price below the industry average. And within 14, we would take that price we had in 12 and set it to above about 10%. So for example, if we were selling in distribution channel 12 with strawberry, we would put the price at around $4.50. Within 14, then we would then move the price to around $4.90. And with this, we were still below the industry average, and we were able to sell more than all the other teams. And with this, we were able to generate more profit than more teams as well. Within marketing, we chose to use average marketing due to it not being a key success factor. The only time we did use marketing is when we had high inventory. And so we would lower the price and then increase the marketing to encourage high inventory turnover. But other than that, we found that marketing wasn't a necessity throughout the entire simulation, so we chose to just do average pricing within marketing. And now I'll be giving it on to Will.
From a financial standpoint, our overall strategy was to keep large cash reserves, at least 1 to 1.5 million after every round. We tried to reinvest these profits into capacity and set up production, and we also tried to steadily pay off our bank loan in order to lower interest costs and maintain a high credit rating. As you can see here, our company had the lowest debt to equity ratio of any company, meaning that we paid off the most of our loan, as well as the highest gross and net margin at 59.0% and 36.03% respectively. This validates that we were able to spend ample funds on plant improvements, all while maintaining healthy profit margins and steadily paying off our debt with the bank. To conclude, our company was a cost leader that used penetration pricing. We did this to keep costs down low, and we did this with low forecasting and frequent purchases. We also made key investments, like investing in capacity as well as set up production time. And we had the second highest net income and the highest ROE of any company. And especially our teamwork and communication is what helped us succeed as Team Q.